That's it.
Yeah.
We are live. Good evening, everybody in the chat room. Thanks for waiting. Today is Thursday, the 11th of April, 2019. It's a mini ladies' night tonight.
Hello.
Men. Oh, is the dog male or female?
Female, it's a ladies' night.
Hey, all female hangout tonight. So on the panel, Trisha and Marilyn Spirit Level. So hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, my darling.
Oh, sorry.
So I'll just say a quick hello. There's Mr. Mensa, there's Leah, there's Nimble Horse, Astro King. That's who I can see at the moment on my screen. So good evening to you guys.
Hello, everyone in the chat.
Guys. Yeah, and Marilyn wanted to come on Sun and Moon and talk about a few things.
Yes, I do. This was prompted by what I've been seeing. See, you know, I go out and I teach the flat earth, and I've kind of been doing some hangouts on a Sunday morning, and I call it the Flat Earth Teachers. So I've been noticing when I look for events to go to, and these are like community events in your area, and you can find them. And notice I'm telling you this, everyone, so that you can find these events for yourself and go and do Flat Earth teaching as I do and others. So I'm going to tell you that you can find these events like on Facebook, or sometimes your local convenience store will have a little newspaper or a little community sell it book or something, and they'll put in there about your events, your local events that are coming up. So you should look at those things, and you should go out there and do some teaching at these events. And there are personal banners you can get at flatearth101.com, which are just 2 feet by 5 feet, and you can put them on a pole, and you can walk around and show people, and you can fold them up and stick them in your backpack. That's how convenient they are to do. But I have been noticing that there were some events coming up that were heavenly oriented. And that only means that there are going to be stargazers. In fact, one of the events I saw was going to be sponsored by the Franklin Institute. And I don't know if you know our area. Franklin Institute is in Philadelphia, and it's one of those science, you know, it has all that science authority behind it, and you go there on school field trips and whatnot. So I thought, okay, so if I go to this event, what am I going to say? What am I going to say to these people who have their eyeballs on a telescope and they're looking at the stars? And I'm not going to be able to have my banners there because it's going to be dark. And I can't really say, oh, well, you know, why don't you come back down to Earth and we'll talk about Earth? Because that's what I usually do. When someone comes up to my banners and I'm at an event, I can point to the pictures on the banners. The only ones I really have about the stars pretty much are the Michelson-Morley experiment, Aries failure, experiment, and star trails with Polaris in the center, and then the stars make the concentric circles. And then I have a picture of what they teach in the schools, which is, you know, the blue spiral of all the planets trying to catch up to the sun. So I'm thinking, all right, how am I going to present this? How can I go there? And I know it's going to be a wonderful opportunity if I have the right ammunition. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that word. Maybe I should say if I have the right teaching tools.
Can I just say very quickly, the other Marilyn, you know, the UK Marilyn, she says,
Yeah.
Hi, Marilyn.
Oh, I do not watch the chat, so thank you and hello.
Marilyn. I know,
Yeah.
carry on, Marilyn.
Okay, so so I need these teaching tools, and I'm going to have to learn a new spiel. Some people in marketing call it a hook line, something that will grab their attention and draw them in. Men call it a pickup line, but you have to come up with a few of these lines. You can't just say exactly the same thing as you're walking through this crowd. You can just imagine 30 people out there on this lawn with their telescopes pointing up. And so you're going to have to walk around, and you're going to have to say something and perhaps hand them something. So I happened to see Karen B. She had a nice short video, and she had 4 orange circles on the video. And she revealed that they were not all the same thing. One was a disc, one was flat, one was a concave, half of a sphere, one was a sphere, so that was very clever, and it said a lot, because when you look through a telescope, you can only see 2 dimensions, and you really cannot tell what that is that you're looking at. Even the stars, they twinkle, but maybe your telescope is not strong enough. And I think that they don't sell very strong telescopes on purpose. Yeah, go on. And so I have to think of, what can I do? What can I say? So I put Karen B's video, the nice short one with the 4 orange things. I put that on the flatearth101.com/begin. And that is on my postcards that I hand out. And that has now 3 short videos, and then Eric Dubé's 200 proofs. So I wanted to add perhaps some other short videos. And I was talking to David of flatearth101.com, and I asked him if we couldn't get another link. So if we go to that begin link, then we could say like the heavens or something like that, and it would direct those people that I would be reaching that night. It would direct them to look at all of the evidence for stars and the moon and the sun and all the heavenly things. Okay, so I'm going to have to build that up. I'm going to have to build a link, something to put on that link. So right now, Karen B's is on the begin thing, but I think I'd like to have a separate link. But go to the begin and then have the link there for heavens. So this is what I wanted to come on the Sun and Moon Family United, because Sun and Moon, why, my goodness, what else? And send out a call, send out a challenge, or a
hey, Sun and Moon, of course. Thank you.
Request, yeah, that we could get some short videos, and even if you go to what you have done already and just take a clip out of that, and I would like it to be like 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. I want them to be short, and put some things together about individual things, and then name it whatever that individual item is. Okay, so if you're going to do something on the sun disappearing and getting smaller, name it that, label it that. Some people put so many things in a long video and you can't reference it. I need things that you can reference quickly. This is the problem with a lot of long videos is, okay, it might have a lot of good content in there, but you can't find it. So what good is it? So let's help me out, help out all the other Flat Earth teachers. We are not calling ourselves activists anymore. So the police cannot say we are protesting, but we are flat earth teachers and we go out to the people. Okay. So help me out here and give me some good short videos and on any of the topics that you might know to be above the plane. Okay. Now I'd like to maybe run through a list of what we might think could be good topics. So, so here we have the shape of the moon is number one. We have that one pretty much covered. Shape of the moon. And then I know there's one I have on there about the time lapse of the sun. So that's a good one. But if you think you have a better one, then that's good. Sun shrinking. And I'm going to look in the comments of this video in the future here. I don't know how long you would need to get something together, but you know, give it a week or so and see if you can't come up with something. If you want to contact me specifically and say, hey, it took me a little longer to put this together, but I think it's great. MarilynT@yahoo.com. Okay, you can send me an email or just put it on one of my videos, put a link or whatever on there, and I'll look for it. But I will try and check back with this video so we can. It would really be nice to have all this in one spot, wouldn't it? So we can all find them. What are some of the other things that we would be looking for? Oh, I think the star in the jar is definitely a good one. If you have any other good footage of stars, maybe you could put the star in a jar with one of your star videos and see how that goes. And you will be featured on the flatearth101.com website. See, this is what's so nice about it. You get this little feature in the link, and then your channel will get some free publicity. So it's a win-win. I get the information I need, and you get the publicity. So I'm hoping that everyone will participate in this. Let me see what else. Oh, well, definitely the eclipse. And I'm going to need, for the eclipse, I'm going to need all of the, I don't know if I can get one video that has several different theories on the eclipse, or there's perhaps one that can talk about the width of the shadow, the umbra and the penumbra, and what else about the eclipse? What could be causing the eclipse? What definitely does not cause the eclipse? And if you can get that 3, 4, 5 minutes, you know, it doesn't have to have everything in there, but it would be awesome because then you get the spot. And Dave Gessner and I will be, you know, selecting the videos that are going to go on this. So eclipse. What else? The sun. Something else about the sun is to know that it's not a hot ball of burning gases, and the distance of the sun is definitely not 93 million miles away, and it's close, and you can feel it on your face when it comes up. And crepuscular rays, awesome crepuscular rays. I teach that one, and it's like people look at that picture and say, oh, you're right, it can't be that far away. Some people will say that the crepuscular rays are an illusion because of perspective. But if you see the water underneath and it's a perfect circle, then you know that ray is directly pointing downward. If it were truly at a perspective angle, then you would get the line on the water. But you're not getting that, okay? So that's another good thing to look for. All you who do videos are wonderful at putting these together. So I'm just telling you what I need, and hopefully you're going to be able to put this together. So the sun distance. Okay, something that I came up with, it just hit me today. Someone did a video recently, and they were talking to a rocket scientist that I can't prove he was a rocket scientist. I don't really know who this person is. Never heard of him. He's nobody famous. But the subject came up about the pressure and the no pressure system. You know, about outer space being a no pressure system. And this rocket scientist was saying, well, it's really not a vacuum of space. It's just a no pressure. And so it just hit me. Okay, if you're on the top of Mount Everest, why is it harder to breathe? What is it up there that down here it's easier to breathe? So what is that? It's the difference in pressure. Now, I have to say, when you go up on top of Mount Everest, they would give you oxygen. So is it really more oxygen that you need, or is it that if you get a purer oxygen, you don't have to breathe heavier, or you don't have to have that pressure? See, is it really the oxygen that's the difference, or is it the pressure that's the difference? And I'll tell you why. I did a study on hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And so much so, that was even before the flat earth. I was very interested in helping people with health problems, and I started studying alternative methods of medicine, and found out that most of the hospitals have hyperbaric units, but they don't allow you to use them. The public is not allowed to use them. They are only allowed to be used for what they call on-label, which is it's part of the Medicare system. And the politicians decide what goes on, what will be covered under this Medicare system. And the only thing that is covered with the hyperbaric oxygen therapy is diabetic wound care. And the reason that's the only thing that's covered is because pharmaceuticals don't have anything more than antibiotics to help with wound care. And once their antibiotics are all used up, they have nothing else. So the hyperbaric oxygen therapy helps the wound to close by getting more oxygen there to the wound, and it helps it to grow, and it also kills the bacteria. So I went into a hyperbaric chamber, and it's a piece of cake. If you ever have any injuries, you heal twice as fast, and it heals all sorts of things. The place that I went to, they have kids lined up with autism in and out of that place like you wouldn't believe. When I first started to go there, you could get an appointment in 2 weeks. Now you can't get one within 2 months. So I am so thankful that it is catching on. People are learning about this. There are a lot of alternative things, but the difference with the oxygen in this chamber is that it's under pressure. And so when you have oxygen under pressure, it gets into your lungs, and more of it gets in there because it goes into the blood plasma, not just the red blood cells. It goes into the plasma. And I know I'm taking a long time here to explain this, but it's very important, and we have plenty of time. But this is what made me think that on top of Mount Everest, it may not be the lack of oxygen. It may be the lack of pressure that makes it harder to breathe. So if somebody's interested in looking into that and has any knowledge on that, and I think even the hikers, they can learn how to breathe. And I'm going to look further into that, but they can learn how to breathe that they don't need oxygen. So there's something there that you guys, I'm so glad to be able to tell you this. So, all right, what else can we look into to do with the heavens? Karen, is there anything in the chat that anybody brought up about what other topics that somebody could go into? Maybe investigating.
I think they're listening to you, but can I just say something back to what you were saying about the little videos?
All right.
Yes. I think if you were going to sit them down and you actually want them to watch a film, 5 minutes, but if you want to catch their attention, maybe they could just show it in about a minute. Even though I make videos longer, those people are going to listen or they're not going to listen. You're going out into the public. Maybe they need to just be 30 seconds or a minute. You need that donk, 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 donk. Just out of that 5 minutes, you'd only want a few then, wouldn't you? And you've got to keep them busy and listening for 5 minutes.
Well, I don't really use the videos on the day that I'm teaching. I go through the banners and I say, you don't have to remember everything here I'm telling you, because you can go to this website and you'll see everything that's on my banners. You see, that's how I do it. And see, when I'm there with the banners, I just teach them at least 3 things they did not know before. And I whet their appetite, like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And as soon as I get that expression or that comment from them, then I know they're probably going to look into this further. And then I bring out the card and show them, yes, you can look into this yourself here. And so this is what I'm trying to put together is actually a link for this. But I like the idea of having shorter videos. If you want to do something shorter on one single little topic, then do it shorter. That's fine. I'm happy with that too. I just didn't know. I don't want a whole lot of fluff. I am not a fluffy kind of person. I would rather have just get to the facts, get to the point, and don't lollygag around saying, oh, I went here and I did this and no. I want a science textbook type of response or answer or video. Okay. So if you're going to put a lot of fluff in there, you're not going to get on the website. Deduct points for that, for fluff. So, okay. Let me see. Air pressure 6. If you want to do something on rockets, rockets, that would be good. Rockets, if you have some good rocket footage, let me see, maybe them going back into the water. Of course, we don't have any of that I've ever seen. This rocket scientist that I brought up earlier that was on a video recently, he said that, so he brought up the bazooka gun. And he said, well, a bazooka, that's not, you can't just push off the air. Well, yeah, I can. So maybe you want to go into that a little bit, or, when doing a rocket video, you can mention other things like, oh, look at the bazooka. This just goes this. But if it has no pressure, if there is no air pressure, it can't do that. It won't work. So, going into things like that would be good. I don't know what else with rockets. I'm putting together this web link, a web link, and I'll just repeat this because somebody may have just joined us, who knows. But I want some short videos on specific topics with that label on that specific topic to build a website about the heavens. Okay, that I can direct people to who are stargazers and who are interested in astronomy. So this is what I'm here, and and begging,
Yes, I think you were
challenging.
telling me it was about the stars. You wanted about stars, didn't you?
Yes, stars, the heavens, anything to do with that. And doing something on the telescopes themselves, how they are very poorly constructed or they are very low. We know they are low power. Even those who, amateurs who say, oh, I have a very powerful telescope. Okay, really? Let's put it up against a P1000 and see how you do.
Hey,
Wouldn't
you're
that
already
be
in the
something?
chat. Marilyn, in the chat room, Brent says, I have some short videos of the heavens on my channel. Brent,
Okay, can you put the links in the comments of this video and I'll check that here.
Brent,
okay?
could you just put a link to one of your videos in the channel, and Marilyn will look later off the
Yes.
Well, if they pass it to me, I can put it on here. Maybe you can see it on here.
Well, when this video live stream goes up, it will have a comment section underneath, will it not?
Oh, I see. Yes, Brent, after the Hangout's finished. She means on the comments after the Hangout.
If you put them in the comments, then I'll have all those comments I can go write down. That would be really awesome for me, very quick to find those things. So yes, thank you for your response, Brent. That's great.
Good thought, Marilyn.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that people would say to do with the heavens or the stars or gosh, I have 7 points now, with the shape of the moon, the sun shrinking as it goes away, setting, star in a jar, what stars are made of, how they look like they're in water, that kind of a thing. Something on the eclipse. The eclipse says, the eclipse says where the moon is eclipsed, a solar and a lunar eclipse. So I don't know that we've done anything like that, have we? Solar and really? I don't know. Okay, so then the sun distance, perhaps that's another one. The moon distance.
We've always struggled a bit like that. Me and Patricia, when we were doing like one of our first quizzes, thought that would be so great to do a flat Earth quiz. But as none of us know exactly where everything is, we couldn't. We couldn't. Like in the globe quiz, we could have said, "How far away is the sun?" and everybody would go 93 million miles. But we can't ask all these things. There's no answers for a lot of this stuff right now. It's so annoying.
Yes, there are not a lot of answers, but we can certainly say that it is not 93 million miles.
Yes, it's miles.
And the seasons, with the sun and the seasons, that's a good. The sun and the seasons, it's definitely not the angle of the sun rays, because when the sun first comes up, you feel that on your face. So it's not just because the sun is angled.
It's not just that, though, is it? It's just the fact that how different things could be, even a few hundred meters away with the clouds, a mile away. People might have complete cloud, can't see the sun, yet you can see the sun because it's low. I don't know. It's the way, you know what I mean, don't you? The differences in the skies in a short period of time, a short distance, and it's just impossible. If everything was well up there, miles away, everything would be different. The way the stars go, what we see. We don't even know how that works because I see stars, you see stars.
Correct.
How does it all happen? Because you're not seeing the same. You see the stars differently. They're all stretched out more in America. It's much sort of more compact here above my head because we're more north and everything. I just don't understand how. But we all see our own sun. But if I travelled on an aeroplane, say, and the sun was there, that sun would travel with me. So it's just all a bit mind blowing, isn't it? We don't have any answers. We can't even explain it. But it's annoying, isn't it? We need somebody else now. We need I don't want to say physicist, but we need someone bigger, not maybe NASA size, but we need somebody to come on our side now and help us do proper research.
Well, and I don't know how that would happen without them revealing themselves. I mean, they can't very well work in an observatory and show us something from the observatory and not, let out who they are. And then certainly they would be fired or compromised in, some way. And that would just be too much. It's going to have to wait until, until we reach critical mass and we can all just say, no, we're not doing this anymore. And you've got to get rid of your total system. Oh. Another thing with listening to that rocket scientist on this recent discussion, he was saying that he is the guy who actually puts the satellites in their positions in the heavens. So he is the guy who, when they launch the satellite and it's up there, he uses the joystick and the controls to get the satellite where it's supposed to be. So along with that, the air pressure, like on Mount Everest, we can do something with air pressure against satellites because they can't propulse themselves in a no pressure system. Okay, so if you have something like that, that would also be good. Satellites and positioning system. Positioning. Now, something else I'll tell you about was interesting about this rocket scientist. He was constantly saying that these satellites are like $300 to $500 million for these satellites, and these countries pay all this money, and they wouldn't dare pay all this money, and not have a use for it and not need it. And I'm thinking, but you don't get it, Mr. Rocket Scientist. It's a false economy. The economy is just a false slave system. It only applies to us. It does not apply to the controllers. So they just turn the crank on the printing machine and print out the money and then control us with that money. So when you're talking to these learned, scholarly men with these paper degrees that they wave around in front of your face, they have a value in that paper. They have a value in the paper money and the degree that their paper is printed on there. The paper that their degree is printed on. I had said that backwards. But that's why they have this mental block, because they are told that it is very critical and precise. And you'll hear an educated person say that all the time. It has to be precise. Sorry, it doesn't, because it's not real. And but these are the fears that they have, that they cannot make a mistake, or they will be owing that $500 billion or $1 million, whatever the satellites. I just wanted to let you on to that, because these are the things that we face when we are out there teaching, and science teachers will walk past, and I was at a recent, 3 weeks ago, and 2 teachers walked past me that day, and they quickly walked past, and I said, "You are responsible for what you teach," because they wouldn't stop. I said, the one girl said, "I'm a science teacher." I'm there. "Oh, well, come back here and talk to me." "Oh, no. I said, "You are responsible for what you teach." See, they don't think that they have a personal responsibility, and they do. They are the ones teaching those children the lies. So you have to say that they are personally responsible. They cannot feign that they are only doing their job. See? So challenge people when they come up to you with a degree or, you know, some sort of snobbish remark. Hit them right back. Turn it right back. No, I don't want to say hit them because somebody will say I'm promoting violence. But put it right back on them. Turn this thing right around on them and say, you are responsible personally for what you teach. You personally have to make sure it's true. Because I don't believe they actually do. Go and see if it's true. So I've been having some good conversations, some good teaching opportunities, and I hope to have more with these stargazers. So, my goodness, we've been talking 46 minutes already. I know I've been doing most of the talking. On Sunday mornings now.
Okay, Marilyn,
Yeah.
I already said that before you came on.
Oh.
That we, you know, Mr. Me and Patricia are quite quiet. We're listening to you, the people.
Okay.
But I will ask you a few questions in a minute when you're finished.
Okay. So I'll just mention that on Sunday mornings, I hope to be doing some flat earth teaching live streams. And I have a woman in Florida, her name's Karen too. And she does teaching down there. And so we have a good discussion back and forth about our experiences. And I hope you tune into that and hear what we have to talk about. And I also bring up things because for the past 2 or 3 weeks, there has been some trouble in the flat earth teacher world, I'll say. And I've had to distance myself from some of the people. And it's a good thing. I think sometimes you need to take a step back and reevaluate. And do not feel afraid that you have to go out there alone. Actually, I prefer it because then I have control over my little area, my little 6x8 or 6x6 area. And that is all me doing that. So I can determine how the conversation is going to go. So if I have someone approaching and someone else comes over here, I can draw them into the conversation. I can, you know, it's easier that way. Sometimes I have a little regret if somebody walks by and I don't grab them and pull them in, but I can't get everybody. Sometimes there's too many, but I try to hand them something as they walk past. Here, you can look it up yourself. And then I go right back to the people who are standing there waiting and asking questions, because that is your best hope there is to reach them because they're curious. So I want to encourage everyone to just consider going out and going like to a vacation spot, or flea markets are wonderful. And I know they're everywhere in the world where you have little places that you can sell things and yard sale, that kind of thing. So just go. And if it's on a public street, you can just walk up and down the street and hand things out. You can take a little banner, the 2x5 personal banner, and you can talk to people. And look, it's right there with all the big pictures on them, the big pictures. Oh, and it looks so professional and lovely that you have to look at it. And so I would love to encourage you all to get out there this year, 2019. Make that the biggest year, the Flat Earth Teachers Year. And we need to reach a lot of people. If we are going to get to critical mass, which is, well, they say the revolution was fought with 3% of the people, even though I don't think I'm going to be picking up, I don't want to have to pick up guns. I think we can do this peacefully. So if we get enough people, we can just say no and say, I'm not paying those school taxes because you're teaching lies. What will they do? What will they do if we just say no? So, all right, Karen, I hope everyone gets their videos in and put them in the comments of this once it's, once we're finished here, it'll be on the channel, and you can get your comments in there. And okay, I don't know. Karen, you have something else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Ask me.
Patricia will like this bit because I wasn't sure if she was here when we were talking about this. But Patricia, you'll like this bit. We're going to ask Marilyn a bit about her story into flat Earth. So you'll like that one.
Nothing too personal now.
Yeah. Woo. No. We've been doing my story on Sun and Moon with the people. So we just wanted to know, how did you get into all this then? Was it a long time ago? Because, you know, some people will say I was a child. Some people, it was the 2015, 2016. It's either been with you all the way along or people woke up then. What was it for you?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, and I got a 16-year attendance pin at my church. So for 16 years, I only missed like one Sunday a year. So I knew the Bible pretty well. And when evolution was starting to be taught in the schools, I remember that day that some kid was teasing me in the hall of the church, saying, "It's evolution, evolution." I'm there, no. And it like hurt me. So I was always against evolution. I knew it was not true. And I became a creation teacher. I had a Facebook page for creation. I was debating creation against evolution. And with that, once you start on that trip, that journey, you go into other things other than what mainstream is. So you can't help but love humanity. And then when you realize people are hurting and suffering, and and my mother always told me, "Oh, you don't need to take drugs. Don't do that." And what did she, she was not a pharmacist. So how did she know this? Well, she was raised on a farm, and her mom had all these home remedies and worked just well for her. So I was looking into all these alternative medicine things you can do. And I do all sorts of things. Like I clean out my gallbladder. I mean, there's a process that takes a week, and you can clean out your gallstones. And so why wouldn't you do that? Why would you suffer with gallstones? It's crazy. You can clean out your kidneys. You can clean out your liver. It's all like a process. Once you start eating healthy and doing things on a daily basis that are good for your organs, then it's not so critical to have to do that process. But I do it once a year anyway, just because. So there's ways of getting heavy metals out of your brain. I take care of my mother. She's 91 now and doing fairly well. And I have done a lot of research to get into try and figure out how to keep her from losing her memory. But I also had I was into politics. And when I figured out the flat earth, then I just stopped doing politics and church, all of that. I was squeezed out of two churches I thought were open and young and modern, but they didn't want to hear anything about flat earth. So I had a conspiracy group that met here at my house for several years. And one of the guys, and they were educated people, owning their own businesses and, CEOs and whatnot. So one of them said to me, "Well, they say we didn't land on the moon." I'm there, "What? You're crazy. You're kidding. How could you say we didn't land? What?" So I looked into that, and through not looking through the moon landing not happening, the flat earth was popping up. I said, "This is crazy, not doing that." And the second time I saw it, I said, "Oh, those poor delusional Christians," and I am one. And the third time I said, "Okay, if there is a flat earth, then they have to have a working model." So I went and found a working model, and everything else was it fell into place. Eric Dubé's 200 proofs. And he is more like me in the fact that you just give me the facts and boom, 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 boom. And then I'll do the research and I'll think for myself and I will decide. I don't want somebody putting out a video, I'm not going to watch a video that's trying to convince me of anything. I will reject that. I will take it as kind of like an offense, or don't try and give me that BS, you know. I can think for myself. So just give me the facts and I'll figure it out. So that's pretty much my story. The first thing I knew, though, when I came to Flat Earth, the first thing I said was, oh, I have to tell everybody. Is there anybody out there really that has come to Flat Earth and never said that? I mean, really, how can you not want to tell everybody? You have no love for humanity if you don't want to tell them the truth. So I do realize that there are people who, because of their job and keeping peace in the family, but you know what? They can, you know, they would have to watch what they say. But there's a lot of other things coming up now, and this is what I really like about the mud floods and Tartaria, and finding out about the energy collector buildings. I mean, I just was telling someone about the big round windows on the cathedrals being that cymatic frequency for that building. So there's a lot more now opening up for us to open up conversations with. So get somebody on that. If they don't want to, you know, go the flat earth route because they think it's religious. And I never do the religious thing. I never go in the religious door with the flat earth. I always go the science. And some people might criticize for that. I don't think so, because I am teaching the gospel. Everyone who teaches flat earth, whether you know it or not, is teaching the gospel, because the gospel is all about the creator. Okay? That is the good news, the creator, that we have one, and he did this for us. Okay? So where you go after that, that's up to you. But I was always a Genesis girl. You know, I'm a Genesis girl. No evolution, it's creation all the way. Okay, so that's where I stand, but I never like approach it from that standpoint. But I can tell some people, I'm there, oh, do you ever, do you believe in the Bible or anything? You know, I kind of approach it sheepishly.
I find people that go out. I really do. Obviously, there's authentic intent. There's more. There's many people that go out and do, you know, what you do, Marilyn. Go out. I'm just not very good at other people's aggression, because most of them are aggressive.
Aggressive.
What I mean is, I completely feel the wall, because it didn't matter what you say. They've always got an answer, and they think they know everything, and actually they only know the lies. So they're only giving you think, oh, I'm only better with those that have woken up, really. I'm just not very good at...
You know what? If you're clever, and I often get somebody who will laugh and just walk away, and I just let them go. But if somebody's going to stop and say, oh, well, this is ridiculous, I'm there, really? I can tell you 3 things that you don't know. You know, just come right back at them. Just turn this right around on them. And you know what? That's the secret of jujitsu and all of the Oriental arts of self-defense, is to take what they throw at you and use that energy to come back at them. Do you understand that? It's skillful, and it's when you figure that out, it's very fun to do. And so if you challenge them right back, like, I can tell you 3 things that you don't know. And they're like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah. And you know what? I always carry my 4-foot level, and I hold it up to my nose, and I said, did you know that the horizon is always at your eye level, no matter how high you go? And when they're walking past, I tell them those things. I hold that level up, and they look at it. And sometimes that draws them in really quick. Like, what? Yeah, you didn't know that. And then I tell them a couple of other things. It's really not as hard as you think. And why don't you go out? Do you live near Harry, or you're in the UK, right? So go out with Harry or Jason, and, you know, just stand next to them And, you know, they can be the muscle there while you get a little experience. You know, that would be fun to do. I'm going to be going out with the Global Eye Tour. I haven't gotten my promo up yet, but I hope to be going over there in September, doing some Ireland and the conference. So, yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
Marilyn, around you. Sorry, I was just looking in the chat room. Marilyn, around you, do you have lots of your family and things that understand, or are you quite on your own with this one?
Oh, definitely on my own. Definitely on my own. Absolutely. Yeah. So I know how you feel. I'm right there with you. I know how you feel. But when my sister heard I was invited to go speak at the conference, she said, "What?" Like, you know.
No.
So yeah, so I think it made a little impression on her, and maybe when I get back, you know, I'll be able to have everyone in my family watch how I spoke at the conference, and maybe they'll feel a little different about it. So that's the reason, really, mainly why I'm going. I don't want to spend a lot of money, you know, on the plane ticket, but you know what? Maybe someone will come through and help me out with the plane ticket a little, because it'll be almost $1,000 to go both ways. And I wanted to see Ireland, but mostly I wanted to get some credibility where my family is concerned. So I think that will
it does mean a lot. I mean, like my children are sort of coming round as long as I don't talk about it too much. I mean, they know where I stand. I can't go on about it anymore. If they don't wake up, they don't wake up. I can't make them. But
yeah. Well, you know what I found,
they trusted you to be their mother, daughter,
right,
whatever it is, lover for people who've got partners, and you know, but they don't trust you on this one.
Well, whenever I get someone young coming up to me at the banners when I'm teaching, I always tell them, if you know, because I go to colleges, like the community colleges or any public college, you can go right on the campus. So when I'm talking to the young people, I'm there. This is just for you to know. If you want to get a good job, don't tell anybody that you know this, especially your future employers, because they will judge you for this. But if you know this, then you will be able to better do your job and be honest with yourself, at least. And then you can also educate your own children. See, but get them off the hook right away, because you're coming out with this. They don't want to have to come out, because they think as soon as they accept flat earth, you're going to make them come out. They don't want to do that. It's kind of like a gay person used to be, you know, I don't want to come out of the closet, you know. Well, yeah, because you fear the persecution and whatnot, right? So tell them, you don't have to tell anybody. I just want you to know for you. Okay? So let them off the hook right away. That's my advice for that. It's a safe place. They can still be in a safe place. Because this is scary. It's very scary. I know some intelligent people.
It's strange, isn't it, in a way, to be liberated, but obviously we don't know everything, and it's frustrating because there's not bigger bodies helping us through this. When they actually, you know, people in observatories, when they say that the stars are trillions of miles away, and what a joke! They can see right into whatever it is. They've got those great big telescopes. So all these people carrying on the lie. It's just.
I know, and you kind of have to feel sorry for some of them, because some of them are just living in fear, because they have sold their soul to the devil. You know, the root of all evil is money. So if you're selling your soul, you really are giving away your integrity, your sense of self-worth, and your value as a human being, for money. I mean, that's disgusting. That's prostitution. That's whoring. And, you know, there's nothing much lower than that, is there? I just wouldn't want to live that way. So I'd much rather take someone laughing at me than have to live a lie. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's how I feel. You know, I can't go back and pretend, but I can't. You can't, can you? You actually can't when you know a bit more. You just can't.
No. And
No,
I don't know.
I
I don't know who would try.
we've all woken up, and a lot of us, it's not that you're lonely in a way, because obviously you have to know to be on your own, to know who you are and all that kind of stuff. But you're on your own now. Your whole family thinks you're in bananas, and in this place where you've opened up and realised even more, the rest of everybody else just gets closed further and further away. And you look outside and you think, I admire people keep going out, because I don't go out so much anymore. I don't want to be out there in that. At least my own walls are sort of mine. So I can.
Well, you know what though? You can take cards and go to the store and slip them into science books for children. Or if they're buying like one of those toys, like a outer space toy, slide it in the box. So when they open the box, they see a card that says space is fake. And it might shock them a little, but better that than they live their whole life thinking that space is real. At least they'll have that picture in their mind to question it. And that's activism, or not activism, that's teaching. We're changing the name. So that is also teaching, and it's a wonderful thing you can do. Slip that card right in the box. I've done that many times. And there are people who just do that because they are shy too. So don't, there's lots of things we can do. Lots of things. You can send out the postcards that you can get on flatearth101.com. And you just stick a label on there and stick it in the mail. Put a label up where the stamp goes, so you can put the stamp on there. And just put it in. I send out many to my relatives. So, yeah, there's lots you can do. And on my channel, Marilyn Spirit Level, I have teaching tools. I have a video series called Teaching Tools. So Flat Earth PA -teaching tools, and it will show you all the things you can do for free. You can make your own cards up. You can print them out. You can, there's a lot of things you can do. That's how I started out. I didn't buy cards and whatnot. I just had little, quarter sheets of paper. And I just, typed things up and printed them out. I couldn't wait. I went to that first conference and I expected to see all that kind of stuff there. There wasn't any of that stuff there. So I was very disappointed, but it made me go and do my own thing. So that's where I'm at now with this. So what about you, Karen? Get some cards at the coffee counter. Hey, did you know the earth is flat? And they look at you funny.
I pick, I don't know if it's the same in America, but over here, you sign up to something, and lo and behold, about 55 million people start calling you on your phone. So whenever one of those comes on the phone, or I actually answer it, or anything like that, I just talk about it. So I do it that way. So I am flat smacking, but
good.
Then at least I can put the phone down on them.
Good.
But I just not very good at going out on the streets, and these, even as a channel, not so much on Sun Moon, but I have another channel. I get called all sorts of things. So, that's bad enough. I think, ooh, that's a message. I don't like that in my face.
Don't be afraid to block somebody. On my channel, if somebody leaves a comment, especially against the college children, and I still call them children, I guess, the college kids, and if they say, oh, they're really dumb kids, I delete them. And if they say anything again, I just, hide them from my channel. I don't care. It's not about views for me. It's not about subscriptions for me. It's about presenting a way of teaching that other people can look at and follow and get ideas of how they could do it themselves. That's why I have a channel. It's an instruction on how to instruct. That's what I'm doing this for. I don't give a darn about subscriptions or views. I really don't. I went up to 100 or 1,000. Somebody told me I had 1,008. Oh, good. Congratulations. You're over 1,000 on my one channel. If I had them combined, I'd be almost 2, I guess. But somebody said, oh, you have over 1,000 on your channel now. I'm there. Oh, okay. That's nice. Well, then a week later, I was down to 997. YouTube must have just taken them away. Who unsubscribes? Nobody. Like, so they're just taking them away. So why would
I think a lot of channels have noticed that. I was even
why
talking
would I covet
Survivor about it the other day, saying he's saying the same thing, how a lot of our channels, like the viewing has gone down. Like you get three subs and 4 unsub all in the same day. It's a game they're playing.
So don't covet anything that you have no control over. Do not covet anything like that, because it will be gone and then you'll feel depressed about that. Don't do that. Just have no interest or no value in those things. And we all know that subscriptions can be bought. So come on. You don't think these bigger channels, like, they didn't get some somehow? I'm not accusing anyone in particular. I never mention names, but I mean, come on. So, especially when they're boring. I know I'm not the good judge on who's boring and who's not, but to me, they're boring. So, well, I don't know. I hope I put out a challenge for some people to.
Yeah, do you want to explain the book again from the beginning so that anybody join the Hangout now and hasn't what you said at the beginning?
Yes, just briefly. I'm putting out a challenge. When this video or this live stream is done, there will be comments underneath the video, and I would request that you put in some short videos, no longer than 5 minutes, hopefully much less, and on these topics, anything to do with the heavens, because I'm going to be going to some events, some stargazing events, and I need to have a link where I can direct people to look at everything in the heavens, and that will be going through flatearth101.com. And I already put up one video from Karen B about what is the shape of the moon, and that's a very nice little video she did. So you will get your channel recognition. You'll be on the website, and I will get my teaching tool that I need to direct people there, and hopefully I'll get a link that will be just for the heavens. I think Dave and I discussed that might be a good idea. So I have 10 things here on that we discussed on this. If you want to watch it, or you can just listen here. It's shape of the moon, the sun shrinking as it's going away in the distance, a star in the jar type video about stars, or just put something together and label it with that specific topic. And do not get wordy, because I do not like a lot of wordiness. So just have them nice and short, to the point, and sweet. Something scientific sounding, okay? Eclipses, the solar and lunar. I don't know if you want to get into all that. The sun distance, the moon distance. You could do something on that. Air pressure. And going up to the top of Mount Everest, and then the air pressure in what they call the outer space. And going along with that, maybe rockets. Number 8, the seasons of the moon. I mean, the sun moving and creating the seasons. That would be good. The chemtrails. Oh, I did say chemtrails, but I didn't really talk about it. That can be like a side note in your videos. If you're doing something and you say chemtrails, you don't have to cut that out. Say, oh, we're looking up here at the sun, but it's kind of being obscured by the chemtrails. That would be fine with me to say that, because we have to introduce these people to all the things that are going on. So you don't have to take that out. And number 10 would be satellites. So I'm just looking for really short videos that we can feature on the website that I can use for teaching tools, and have a link for that. So it's kind of like a contest or a challenge, and a request. So however you want to view that, and don't just say it's on my channel, here's my channel. No, I'm not going to hunt through anybody's channel. I'm not doing that. You want to put up and enter one of your videos, or two if they're really good. You can enter it like a contest, but don't just direct me to your channel, because I will not look through your channel. So if you want to get on the website, put up something really good.
I think a good thing to do after this hangout is, like you said, you wanted people to go to the comment section after the hangout.
Yes,
right?
I would.
Put their comments. So is it worth you putting a comment there, and then they can be directed to the channel or your email address to send the links?
Putting it in the comments, I'll make a comment and put my email in there. That's fine. That's fine. Or you want to put it in the description, that's fine too. MarilynT@yahoo.com is my email, or, however you want to get it to me is fine. Having it in the comments section of this video would be the best for me, though. So I would appreciate that.
Okay, we'll just put a comment in there with all your details on. It's probably best, and then people can add their comments to you and everything on that comment, can't they? And then go over to you anyway.
They can comment on the comment on the comment.
On the comment.
Constant comment. I think there's a tea called constant comment.
So, Marilyn, what would you like to happen in Flat Earth? What is the way you'd like it to go?
Oh, I would just like it to grow and have everyone know that it's true and that our government's lying, and have it done quickly before 5G gets enacted, before they turn on 5G, if they haven't already. I think it has been turned on some places. I saw this woman who lives over in, was it Brussels or something? I don't know where she was, but she said that she's getting attacks, cyber, like sound wave attacks and whatnot, that she has to have all these things up. And she is an activist, and she puts out some good hefty material. I can't remember her name right at the moment, but so it's possible that 5G is already being used to attack us. But I want it out there quickly so we can protect the people, save the people. I'm all about, saving humanity, promoting humanity, saving us from suffering. I don't know who isn't for that, so that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. And yeah, do you want to talk a little bit more, or do you think that's enough, Marilyn? We've been going for
I'm happy with this, Karen. I really am. I'm so pleased that you allowed me to come on here and do this. Anything we can talk about to get people out there teaching and give them encouragement and courage to do that. I'm so thankful for that, because I think that's where it's at. That's where it's at. So I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Patricia, for allowing me to come on here and make this request of everyone.
It's an absolute pleasure. And as I said, Marilyn's going to put her details in the comment section of this hangout. And yeah, it's been very nice. And it's really nice to hear, like the last couple of days, the people have been so positive. It's really great. Even the other day, Claudio was very positive about moving forward, and you're positive about moving forward. So that's great.
Yes.
Anyway, we are back, Marilyn. Tomorrow is midday for us. Might be a bit early for a lot of Americans. 7 o'clock in the morning for Robert Forsch, because we are going to have Dawn with him. He is going to come on another hangout, and that's the bit he'd like to share with us, is Dawn on the beach where he is. Great. So that's midday tomorrow for about an hour and a half. So anyway, but thank you, Marilyn. Marilyn's going to put all her details in the chat, in the message on the hangout. Thank you to everybody. I'll just mention a few people I can see. If you want your name mentioned, write it now. Mr. Menzer, Jesus Jones, Marilyn Wisby. We've got, they're all talking. We've got Clive, Stack, Mr. Menza, Brandon, Grace. Who else has been there? Write your name now if you want to mention. Leah's been in there. Kill the Beast. I think I said Grace. Nimble Horse has been in there. Stack has been in there. Sultan of the Symmetry has been in there. Oh, I'm not sure if I mentioned Sultan. Hello, Sultan. GoPro Keith's in there, or been in there. Brent, obviously, he's going to send some links on this post. Tickety Boo. Yeah, that's some of the people in the chat room today. And see if anybody's added their name on the bottom. Kill the Beast, I've done that one. Oh, Reclaim the Plane is there. Brian is there. Tanya's there. Say hello to those people. Anyway, thank you so much for listening into this hangout. And I said we're back tomorrow about lunchtime, 12 o'clock UK time. Marilyn, thank you. I really hope that people, send in stuff for you.
Yes, I hope so too. Thank you all for listening.
Anyway, good night from us, or good afternoon, good morning. Mwah. Patricia, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Patricia.
My internet kept going in and out, so I missed quite a bit. So sorry about that. But yeah,
no problem.
I was love listening to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and being an all-girl hangout tonight, as Brandon just said in the chat room. Love you, girl. Or thank you as all. Love is i.e. girls. Yeah, strong women on our panel tonight. Anyway, to everybody. See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Love you all. Love you, Marilyn.